We're back.
So, fantasy football with Mclovin, week number 2. We're going to go over some news and notes, and Mclovin's going to give his predictions on the season and picks and everything else. But stay tuned for the second half of the show for the predictions. Let's go right on into the news.
Okay.
All right. The Los Angeles Rams extend to Austin, one source says, deal for $42 million. Wide receiver Tavon Austin signed a 4-year extension with the Los Angeles Rams that a source told ESPN is worth $42 million and includes $30 million guaranteed.
Tavon Austin is a guy, very fast, undersized, but very, very quick, very fast. When the ball's in his hands, he can do a lot of things. They needed a number one receiver. They haven't had one in a while. So this guy can do a lot of things when healthy. Now he's had some injuries the last couple of years. I was looking at the contract, and basically he's getting he's right up there with the Julio Jones and the the Antonio Browns and AJ Greens as far as compensation, as far as guaranteed money goes. So $30 million is a lot of money to give to Tavon Austin, but they need that guy. He needs he needs to perform, and I think he can with Case Keenum and or Jared Goff. But basically, they got their guy, and now we'll see if he can stay healthy and earn his money. But he's a guy that can move fast. It's very difficult for him to be defended one-on-one, especially in a man-on-man coverage. He's so quick. But basically, he got his money, and it's always too good to get your contract done before the season starts, so no one has to worry about it. So. It was a good move by Los Angeles. It's so weird calling him Los Angeles, but and we'll see. I think he has potential if he plays all 16 games to be a Pro Bowl wide receiver for sure.
Harbaugh critical of preseason after Watson injury. After watching 2 of his players get carried off the field Saturday night, including tight end Benjamin Watson, Ravens coach John Harbaugh spoke out against a number of preseason games.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody else about this. The way the NFL is structured right now, obviously you have 4 preseason games and 16 regular season games right into the playoffs. Now, the ongoing what the owners want are 2 preseason games and 18 regular season games, because as we've all seen, the 4 preseason season games are way too many. But it's going to be difficult to ever get the Players Association to vote for more regular season games. The players don't want to play any more games than they have to. 16 is a lot already. The owners want more regular season games, mainly because those 4 preseason games, all the local televisions keep all their money. So it's all kept by every local television in whatever market they have. Obviously, the owners, whenever owners see, money being made, they always want to stick their beak in. So they want to add 2 extra regular season games so they can, share that money with the rest of the NFL and obviously get paid more. But I don't know. It's going to maybe 17-3. But I don't know about 18-2, basically because the players don't want to play 18 regular season games and go into the playoffs and play more. But the preseason, we all agree, is way too long and meaningless. And the biggest thing about the preseason is not only getting your guys, play like a quarter to a half, but stay away from injuries. Now, there's an injury to Benjamin Watson. We saw the injury yesterday to Teddy Bridgewater. Tony Romo, who just walks out of bed and gets injured. But the preseason is too long, but it's a necessary evil because you need to find out what you have. And then when you're looking at a roster of 53 guys, the last 8 to 10 of those guys, really need those last 2 preseason games to show what they have, because everyone on their rosters throughout the league has those 20 to 24 guys that are solid, starters, backups, and then the second half of that roster makes up your special teams and your backups. So there's going to be a back and forth. Basically, what I think is going to happen is, I think we talked about this, right? The strike that's going to happen in 2021, because this is going to be something that's big that's brought up. on the player side. They don't want to play any more games. So we'll see what happens there.
So, source, Colts fear left guard Muhort suffered torn ACL. Indianapolis Colts starting guard Jack Muhort left Saturday night's preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles with what the team fears is a torn ACL, according to ESPN and multiple reports.
Once again, injuries, especially the offensive line. I mean, offensive line, obviously, the guys no one ever talks about. You only know about an offensive lineman if he fucks up. So basically, when you have your line ready for the season, this is the most healthy they're ever going to be at one time in the season, is before the season starts. When you guys have nicked up or get injured before, then the chemistry for the offensive line will never be there for the season, because then you have to either move one guy around or two guys around, and basically good offensive line coaches in the NFL can work around that. But basically, they need to find someone to replace them, and everyone that could possibly be a replacement is on roster. So that means they have to go and trust their next 3 or 4 offensive linemen on the bench.
After Neal injury, Falcons signed Goldson for depth. The Falcons have signed Deshaun Goldson, who will help Atlanta's depth at safety following the injury to 2016 first-round pick Keanu Neal.
Yeah, I know Deshaun Goldson. I was with him in San Francisco, 4th or 5th round pick out of Washington. This guy hits harder than a lot of people I've ever seen. He left San Francisco, signed a big deal with Tampa Bay. That didn't work out at all, and I think he'll be a good fit with Atlanta. Now, Atlanta has always had trouble with defense, and for some reason they score a lot of points, but they give up a lot of points. Deshaun Goldson is a really, really good safety in the fact that he can cover, but also he can hit. And I think, it seems like he's another one of those guys. The more money he gets, his playing degresses actually. So we'll see what happens. I hope the best for him because he's a good guy.
Veteran running back Ridley signs with Colts. Running back Stephen Ridley has signed with the Colts, who are searching for a viable backup behind starter Frank Gore.
Yeah, there's a number of backs in that backfield. Stephen Ridley, I know they got this kid Josh Ferguson. Gore, God bless him. He's still playing. He's a shell of himself, to say the least, but he's a competitor, and as long as he's able to play, he's going to play football because that's the only thing he's ever known. That's the only thing he loves. But he's not a 3-down back anymore. He still can cut through the crease and get long yards. He's always been able to do that. The reason why he's still in the league is that he knows how to take hits. Now, this is a guy who got a torn ACL on both legs in college at the University of Miami. When you watch Frank Gore play, when you watch him go to the ground, he never takes a hit one-on-one from the defender. He's very, very intelligent when it comes to that, and that's why he's still playing. But as far as having gas in the tank, you're going to need, a Stephen Ridley. You're going to need whoever you can find to back him up, because that's truly going to be running back by committee.
So there's an update. Colts Muhort out 2 to 4 weeks, no surgery needed. Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay tweeted that starting left guard Jack Muhort will be out 2 to 4 weeks after suffering a knee injury but will not need surgery. Chargers running back Oliver carted off with Achilles injury.
God.
Chargers running back Brandon Oliver suffered an Achilles injury during Sunday's game in Minnesota.
I remember watching this, evaluating this guy when I was at UConn when we played Buffalo. This guy was just an absolute bull. Not very tall, 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", but could run people over. He reminded me a lot of. He was a slower version of the kid that used to play down in Jacksonville, Maurice Jones-Drew. And it's unfortunate. Achilles, that's not good. That's the season. And basically, he was going to be the third guy out there. So it's too bad. He's a good kid and he's a good player. So that's one thing. Another thing with these injuries that just pop up, it's too bad.
So ex-49er Boone rips Kaepernick for shameful act. Colin Kaepernick's ex-teammate Alex Boone, now with the Vikings, said, quote, "We probably would have had a problem on the sideline had the quarterback sat the national anthem during his time in San Francisco. And Colin Kaepernick will sit for anthem until there's change. Colin Kaepernick plans to sit through the national anthem for as long as he feels it's appropriate, and until he sees major change in America, specifically when it comes to race relations.
You know, Andy and I were talking a little about this yesterday. I have a big problem with all this garbage, and I don't want to delve too much in. I won't say exactly what I said to him in the car yesterday, but basically, this is all a bunch of bullshit. Okay, and you look at it. The reason why Colin Kaepernick has a job, the reason why we have football, the reason why me and Andy can sit here and talk about football for a season that makes billions and billions of dollars is because of the flag, is because of that. The people that go over and risk their lives to keep us free, and for people that take advantage of that, shame on them. And I hear all this free speech garbage. Yes, you can have free speech, but this whole thing, this American flag, what we have as the United States that gives us the freedom, started way belong Colin Kaepernick. Okay, first of all, Colin Kaepernick has 2 white parents. Okay, he's coming out saying what was it? Too much aggression against what's that word? Against black people. It's probably in the article.
Race relations?
Race, but what is it called when you're not? It's fuck.
Bigot?
No. It's racial, and it's like oppression. Racial oppression. Okay. Now, like I said, this is a guy who comes from a white family. Okay. He has no right.
He's on half black, half white?
His parents are white.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah.
You're positive?
Pretty much. You can look it up.
Are you sure? Okay.
They're pretty much white. Anyway, he's never had to worry about racial oppression ever. And that's my main point, is that he's not from the gutter. He's not from the ghetto. He's not from all. He really is taking advantage of not only being on the shit list with everybody and their mother out in San Francisco. This guy's thinks that he can do something about what's going on in the United States. First of all, there are more whites, okay, killed by police throughout the entire year than black people, okay? This whole thing with, this whole political, white lives matter, black lives matter.
His birth father is an African American.
Okay. Who was he raised by?
Russo placed her son for adoption with Rick and Teresa Kaepernick, a white couple who had 2 children.
There you go. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, came from money. Okay, I know Kaepernick, but I knew Kaepernick when he wasn't. He was a backup, so he didn't have anything to say. Now that he's really shooting himself in the foot. I mean, his career is not going in the right direction, and you can't really take him seriously because I was listening to a radio show yesterday, and all these callers were calling up saying he has the free speech to do this, and I think it's absolute garbage. If my grandfather knew about this, he'd be upset. All those people that fought in World War II and World War I and the Vietnam War and are over there right now and defending our freedom over against ISIS and Iraq. I mean, I think they would have a big problem with it too. You just have to stand up. If you don't like it, stand up. Don't sit down because all you're doing is creating something that's not there, and it's a distraction already on top of a distraction because he's really failed as an NFL quarterback, and the more he does these shenanigans, then the more I'm gonna trash him. So it's too bad. I think he needs to get over himself, and I think just focus on playing football and being a backup to Blaine Gabbert.
So Kaepernick, 49ers hold players only meeting. 49ers held a players only meeting Sunday in an effort to speak on and understand Colin Kaepernick's decision to sit during the national anthem and prevent it from becoming a distraction.
Well, I can tell you I've been in a lot of those team meetings with San Francisco. I can tell you that Trent Baalke, who is the GM, is a football guy through and through. He was a Bill Parcells guy. He's probably livid because this has nothing to do with football. and you don't choose the time that the San Francisco 49ers are giving this player to take advantage of that time to make racial statements. It's just a bunch of garbage. This is a team that needs to come back from a poor couple last years, and this is not helping. Okay, they're in the toughest division in football. Kaepernick, they got to do something with him. They got to trade him. They got to get rid of him. Because it's just he's taking this way too far. Now it's starting to affect his team. And it's going to start affecting the organization. It's going to start affecting ownership. And
it's going to start affecting Chip Kelly's hamburger.
Chip Kelly's, yeah, and it's San Francisco, so there's a lot of different, especially in San Francisco. You want to talk about it's like the melting pot of the United States.
49.
You got 49ers out there. You got Asians. You got Indians. You got Japanese. You got blacks. You got whites. You got all this stuff, and to be bringing that up, especially in a place like San Francisco where I lived for 7 years,
49.
Yeah, there's most. 49er! Whoa, 49er! I used to get my hair cut out by this guy named. His name was Eric. They called him Bone Crusher Eric. He was this little Asian guy. And where I got I used to live in San Carlos in my first year out in California. And I used to get my hair cut at this little place, this little Asian place, right around the corner from where my uncle and my aunt lives. I came in the first day, and we got to talking, and he said, what brought you out here? And I said, I work for the San Francisco 49ers. And he goes, whoa, 49er, whoa! And then there's about 12 Asian people in the little barbershop, and they all say, whoa! And everyone says, 49er, whoa! And the place erupted. Then from then on, I just went in there and they'd say 49er, 49er, 49er. So it's fun. It's fun to talk about.
All right, so Knighton on Pat's cut, quote, it's been real New England. After not logging a defensive snap in Friday's 1917 preseason victory over the Panthers, veteran defensive lineman Terrence Knighton was cut by the Patriots on Monday.
Guess he's not. If he's not good enough for the Pats, then too bad.
Browns cut ties with rushing linebacker Kruger. The Browns terminated the contracts of defensive end Paul Kruger and quarterback Austin Davis. Irrelevant?
Kruger is a vet. He probably had a big cap number. That's why they got rid of him. So not really too significant.
Pat Stork axed after Redskins deal falls through. Center Brian Stork failed his physical with the Washington Redskins, nullifying a trade made with the New England Patriots last week, and then the Patriots waived him later in the day.
Oh, God, this guy. He was a starting center on the best team in the NFL, and then he got the concussions, and from then on, it was just all downhill. Too bad. It's too bad because he's a good player.
Ravens placed tight end Watson, cornerback Arrington on IR. The Ravens put tight end Benjamin Watson and cornerback Kyle Arrington on injured reserve.
That's not good. We just talked about Ben Watson, former Patriot.
Former Zebra.
Yeah, former New Orleans Saint. Good player. Done for the year. Too bad.
Ex-Army Ranger. Protest sends wrong message. Steelers left tackle Alejandro Villanueva thinks Colin Kaepernick needs to look at the, quote, big picture as he's sending the wrong message by sitting for the national anthem.
Correct. And a lot of that I just went on and basically what's happening is that we're discussing a topic that Colin Kaepernick has no idea what it's like to defend this country, and you have people that actually do defend this country who have come back with limbs and PSD or whatever it's called, PTSD, whatever it's called, because they signed up to protect their country. Now, this Colin Kaepernick is sitting because of black oppression when he was brought up by two white parents. Okay, so there's something wrong there. It's just like it's just terrible, and he needs to stop it. Just let it go.
Former Giants defensive lineman Jenkins signs with Redskins. Colin Jenkins, who spent the past 3 seasons with the Giants, signed with the Redskins on Monday, reportedly a 1-year deal.
Colin Jenkins is a good player. He's a big body. He'll really help that line there in Washington. he did play well with the Giants, and we'll see if he can carry it over to the Redskins. But he's definitely not the same Cullen Jenkins that's played the last 4 or 5 years.
He's no spring chicken.
No spring chicken. No.
Bagak! Eagles linebacker Tavares to join Kaepernick in protest. And they actually misspelled this on ESPN, named him Kaepernick. Speaking to ESPN on Monday, rookie linebacker Mikey Tavares says he plans to sit out the national anthem when the Eagles host the Jets in their preseason finale Thursday.
And then he took it back.
He did?
Yeah, because this guy, he thinks he's hot shit trying to jump on the Colin Kaepernick ridiculous shenanigan bandwagon. His agent got a hold of him, this kid. And his head coach in college got a hold of him. Now he's disregarded that because he's
he wanted to be heard. See,
now he's going to be heard on the street, as they say.
Harbaugh, quote, "I don't respect Kaepernick's actions." Michigan football coach Jim Harbaugh, while respecting Colin Kaepernick's right to protest, said he doesn't agree with his former quarterback's method.
Correct. It's fucking stupid. It really is. And Colin Kaepernick, he's like. We were naming all the black people that like white people yesterday, like Tony Gwynn and all these
the black white people.
Yeah, exactly. So he just needs to shut the fuck up.
Cardinals cornerback Jenkins suffers torn ACL, put on IR. Cardinals cornerback Mike Jenkins was placed on injured reserve after suffering a torn ACL during Sunday's preseason game.
It's a good player. It's going to be a big loss, especially for that defense.
So there you go. Stand down. Tavares changes tune on protest. You're right. Rookie linebacker Mikey Tavares no longer plans to sit out the national anthem when the Eagles host the Jets on Thursday in their preseason finale, according to his agent. Seahawks release Browner after switch to safety. The Seattle Seahawks released veteran defensive back Brandon Browner, an original member of the Legion of Boom, on Monday. Why don't the Pats pick him up?
I agree.
Hope they do.
Maybe. They released him for a reason. I don't know. I'd take him in a second. He single-handedly is the reason why the Patriots won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
What's his name came in and made the pick?
Malcolm
Butler. But nothing would have happened if it wasn't for Brandon Browner, who, physically assaulted the guy and really made that play happen.
Molestation.
Yeah, exactly.
Molestation with a guy. Panthers fill void, trade for Pro Bowl punter Lee. The Panthers acquired Pro Bowl punter Andy Lee in a trade that helped fill a void for the defending NFC champions.
Andy Lee, he was with San Francisco. He was drafted in 2004, the first year I began out there, so I was really close with Andy Lee. Punter out of Pittsburgh, was one of the best punters in the league for years. But
is he better than Zoltan Mesko?
Yeah, I would take Andy Lee.
Zoltan.
Good for him.
San Fran Police Union president rips Kaepernick. The president of the San Francisco Police Officers Association sent a letter Monday to Roger Goodell and 49ers CEO Jed York denouncing Colin Kaepernick's, quote, ill-advised statements toward police.
Like I said, that's not the right place to be doing that stuff in San Francisco. That it goes against everything that's people stand for. I mean, and we're not talking about a guy who grew up in the gutter, who brother was shot or sister was shot or raped or something like that. This is all bullshit. He's doing it just to do it, just because he can. He's doing it just so Andy and I can sit here and talk about it. He's doing it just so other players can come out and comment about it. Because he wants to take distraction off of his quarterbacking, which is garbage. So what better way?
Even when he says so.
Than a kid from white parents to talk about black oppression.
All right, so Trevor Siemian won the Broncos quarterback job. Bengals released veteran return specialist Tate. The Bengals released Brandon Tate, who had a franchise-leading 153 punt returns during the past 5 seasons.
Maybe they found it and someone had to beat him out. I don't know the details on that one, but someone will pick that Brandon Tate up. I'm sure of it.
Source: free agent defensive tackle Hill suspended 4 weeks. Free agent defensive tackle Sammy Lee Hill has been suspended for the first 4 games of the NFL season for violating the NFL's drug policy, a source told ESPN's Field Yates. His name's Field.
Yeah, 4 games. A quarter of the season.
That's what happens.
Good luck.
Chargers waive quarterback Mettenberger among cuts. Quarterback Zach Mettenberger was waived by the Chargers as part of the team's efforts to get down to 75 players by Tuesday's 4 p.m. Eastern time deadline.
Mettenberger?
Mettenberger. It was 0-10 for the Titans, see.
Yeah. Oh, someone might pick him up, but
He's a Tennessee Titan. Dolphins defensive end Jordan ineligible for first 6 games.
oh god.
Deion Jordan, who has yet to do any on-field work with the Dolphins after having knee surgery, was placed on the reserve NFI list.
Yeah. So I know.
Here's one.
I know Deion Lewis got put on that as well. They're out the first 6 weeks of the year. They can return week 7. So like I've always said, I like that new. This came into play about 2 or 3 years ago. Gives guys that are injured right now, instead of being put on IR, gives them a chance to come back and play. Midway through the year.
Jim Brown, quote, 100% supports Kaepernick. Jim Brown stands, quote, 100% behind Colin Kaepernick in his decision not to stand for the national anthem before games.
Well, Jim Brown is a known racist on his own. I've seen him in person, and the guy's just he's a nasty person. Now if Jim Brown did something like this, then you can see more of where he's coming from, because of where he grew up, how he grew up and what he had to deal with. But it doesn't help the fact that Jim Brown's going to come out and Kaepernick's going to see that, and it's just a bunch of garbage. It really is a bunch of garbage, and I really don't want to go off about this subject because I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that we have to talk about something like this, where, like I said, more whites are killed by police than black people, and you can look it up on the internet or whatever. So it's like that. The fact that our generation right now, and all the white people out there really have to are still asked to pay the black people back for something that happened hundreds of years ago. Okay, so it's sad. It really is, but it's like the black people aren't. They're just walking, going to the library to the church, and they're not causing any problems, right? So yeah, the cops just shoot them for no reason. Of course, they're doing something wrong. They're always doing something wrong. So I don't want to get too much further in depth about it, but
it's a zebra. Yeah. Bills get linebacker McCray from Packers for 2018 pick. The Bills acquired linebacker Lorente McCray from the Packers on Tuesday for an undisclosed draft pick in 2018.
No, I mean.
Giants re-signed Beatty to a 1-year contract.
Will Beatty.
The Giants re-signed offensive lineman Will Beatty to a 1-year deal after releasing him in February to free up salary cap space.
Yeah, University of Connecticut, been a hell of won a couple Super Bowls. It's good, hell of a player, good signing.
Harrison sorry for saying Kaepernick, quote, not black.
He's not black.
Rodney Harrison has apologized after criticizing Colin Kaepernick and his refusal to stand for the national anthem, while suggesting that the quarterback isn't black and doesn't understand racism.
Correct, he doesn't. Rodney Harrison, who is very outspoken. I love Rodney. He's right, and the only reason NBC came out and told him to, obviously take that down because with this whole black-white thing, but basically, he's right. Now, a lot of people come out and they make these statements. They make the statements because that's truly how they feel in their heart, and then just because of PR or their jobs, they have to take it back because everybody has to be happy. We all, black, white, yellow, purple, we all have to be happy. Okay, but he's right. Kaepernick is a white person to me, and
a white person for thee.
So it's too bad, but Rodney's right.
Kaepernick to play in 49ers preseason finale. Quarterback Colin Kaepernick will play in the 49ers preseason finale while Blaine Gabbert will sit out, Coach Chip Kelly said.
Should be interesting. Really, now, 40 minutes in the show, we can actually start about talking about football with this guy.
Football!
It's too bad that, he has to do all these stupid antics, but we'll see what happens with him. We'll see if he clicks with Chip Kelly. I don't think the fan base is supporting him, and I know a lot of 49er fans that can't stand him. But, they made their choice. They got rid of Alex. They signed Kaepernick, and the NFL figured him out, and they stopped the running game. Now he's a pocket passer, and that's why he's been failing.
Bridgewater has dislocated knee, torn ACL. The Minnesota Vikings canceled their practice Tuesday after quarterback Teddy Bridgewater suffered a dislocated knee and torn ACL during a non-contract drill.
Now, I see this from a couple different angles. Teddy Bridgewater is a very, very good quarterback. Is he great? No. He did lead the team to division championship last year with Minnesota. Then they were the kicker missed a chip shot, and they would have beat Seattle. So I think Teddy Bridgewater is a very good player. I think he had control of the offense. He wasn't gonna throw 30 touchdowns and all this other stuff. They had a great running game. He didn't turn the ball over. I think they're still in good they're still in a good shape because I think Sean Hill, who I knew from my San Francisco days, we used to drink beers at Hooters. He's a really, really great guy, and I wish him the best, and hopefully he gets the opportunity because I know that he can be successful there.
Chiefs linebacker Houston knee surgery put on PUP list. Chiefs linebacker Justin Houston, who is recovering from off-season knee surgery, will miss at least the first 6 weeks of the season after being placed on the PUP list.
Yeah, he's a stud. It's too bad they're going to lose him, and hopefully he gets better.
Steelers Green on PUP list until at least week 7. Tight end Ladarius Green, the Steelers' biggest offseason signing, won't see the field until at least week 7, as he was placed on the physically unable to perform list.
Yeah, like I was saying, I really like that what they're doing, allowing these guys to come back during the season, so they don't waste a full year in an injury they get in training camp. So when he comes back, depending on how the Steelers are, as far as injuries go at that time, they're always banged up somewhere. They have the Le'Veon Bell suspension 4 games, so week 6 or 7, if they're all healthy, they should be at full tilt. So they're going to be a team to be reckoned with this year. Source:
PUP-bound Vollmer may miss Pat's year. The Patriots placed Sebastian Vollmer on the PUP list with a hip injury, but a source told ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter that the right tackle could miss the entire season.
That's not good. We saw what happened last year when they lost just about every tackle they had, on New England, and Brady was, clearly affected by it. So that's too bad. They need Vollmer there, but I guess he's not going to be there, so it's too bad. Next man up.
Drew Brees, quote, wholeheartedly disagrees with Colin Kaepernick's method of protest. New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees said it's an oxymoron to disrespect the flag that gives Americans the freedom to speak out.
Correct. But I don't even like Drew Brees. But he's correct, Kaepernick's not winning anybody over with these shenanigans.
Okay. Rison pleads guilty to violating probation. Former NFL receiver Andre Rison has pleaded guilty to violating probation by failing to maintain child support payments and testing positive for marijuana.
Oh boy, this guy's been—I didn't even know he was still alive. This guy's been a problem for the last 30 years in society. So,
source is ex-Browns linebacker Kruger going to Saints. Veteran pass rusher Paul Kruger has reached agreement with the New Orleans Saints just 2 days after he was released by the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a big pickup for them. Another veteran that can help that line and get to the quarterback. So it doesn't hurt New Orleans, I'll tell you that.
Safer at safety. Panthers signed Stevie Brown. Stevie Brown and the Panthers have agreed to a 1-year deal as Carolina was struggling with depth issues at the safety position.
Good player, good, solid. Will definitely step in and help that defense, which should be another top 5 defense in the league.
Fred Taylor. NFL doctors, quote, overlooked injuries. Former NFL running back Fred Taylor, who played 11 seasons with the Jaguars, says doctors never told him about injuries to his collarbone and shoulders.
These guys come out and say something like that. Who knows? I mean, did they really not tell him about injury? I'm going to have to believe no. I mean, was something overlooked? Maybe, but I don't think they intentionally didn't tell him that he was injured. I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
Sources: Cowboys Lee restructures contract. Linebacker Sean Lee and the Cowboys agreed to a rework deal in which he can earn an extra $2 million in 2016, sources told ESPN's Tart Archer.
Good for him. He's a good player. He's a hard worker. Went to Penn State. Good linebacker at Penn State. Does a lot for that Dallas Cowboys team as a leader, not only a tackler, but good player, and he hopefully gets that $2 million.
Source: Philadelphia to host 2017 NFL Draft. Philadelphia will be the host for the 2017 NFL Draft, a source told ESPN's Adam Schefter. A formal announcement will be made Thursday.
That's dangerous to have the draft in Philly. Good luck.
Mark Sanchez awaits his fate, determined to handle things in a, quote, professional way. Mark Sanchez went from, quote, an opportunity of a lifetime with the Broncos to becoming a potential cut, but he isn't bitter about his situation.
He's terrible. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. The guy is a bad quarterback. He's terrible. He's garbage. He's just not a good player at all, and I'm surprised that teams are still kicking the tires on him because he's absolute garbage.
Could Jets trade Geno Smith to quarterback-needy Vikings? The Jets have said they might keep 4 quarterbacks, but that doesn't seem likely, and moving Geno Smith before his deal is up makes sense if there's a taker.
Well, I think right now he's third on the wheel there. But Minnesota, Geno Smith, you're taking out a lot of things. Does he really like football? Does he care about winning? I mean, those are the things you have to above and beyond whether he can be a good quarterback or not. I would not touch Geno Smith ever in my life as a quarterback. But if they do, then they obviously have something. They obviously think that he can help the team for the season without Bridgewater being there.
So, you ready for your picks?
Yeah, I need something to write with.
Oh, the pens don't work?
These pens don't work.
Oh, man. No. Don't. That's a surprise. Don't touch those. You can't move them. They'll see them.
Okay.
That's a surprise for the sexy viewers that we have.
Okay.
I don't fucking know where the pens are, dude. Shit. What about that marker?
I guess so. It's really ghetto.
I told you the production value will go up. I just got to get a hold of Mike Canapi. Mike Canapi is supposed to help with the production value of this show. And all we have now is a fucking marker to write with. So what are we doing?
All right. My pick. Do you want to do your picks too?
For what? The season?
Well, we're going to go through every conference.
With who? Who wins the conference?
Who wins a conference?
Okay, so I'm going to go with New England.
Okay, so AFC East.
New England.
Okay, we're both going with New England.
Okay.
Okay. The AFC North.
What's the division again? You got Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and who? Kansas City? No, that's 11. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Pittsburgh's going to win that division.
Yep, that's what I have. Okay. AFC South.
So you got the Colts, the Jaguars, the Texans, and who?
The Colts, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Indianapolis.
No. You said the Colts in Indianapolis.
Houston, Tennessee, Indianapolis, Jacksonville.
I'm going to go with Houston.
I'm going with Jacksonville.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, what do you got for the West? Who are the teams in the West?
Denver, Oakland, San Diego, Kansas City.
I'm gonna take Kansas City.
You took Houston?
Yeah, I took Houston. You took Jacksonville. I'm going to take Kansas City.
I'm taking the Raiders.
The Raiders. Winnie wants some food. That's what Winnie wants. Hi, Winnie. Hi, girl. Oh, shit. It's okay.
You picked Kansas City, right?
Yeah, I picked Kansas City.
Okay. So, now we have the NFC East.
It's going to go with Philadelphia.
Wow. I am taking the NFC East. I am taking the Washington Redskins.
I'm picking the Eagles because and I know it's preseason,
Yeah.
but so far their defense looks unstoppable.
Okay. NFC Norris division.
That's the Green Bay division, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking Green Bay.
Yeah, it's. I'll still take Minnesota.
What?
Yeah.
You're okay. This is an easy win for me. I mean, come on.
That's what everyone said last year.
Okay, let's calm down. Okay.
What?
The Minnesota doesn't have a quarterback. Chicago's a mess.
They have Sean Hill.
Okay, your buddy Sean Hill.
Yeah.
NFC
South.
Who's in that division? Is that the Saints?
Yeah.
Saints and who?
Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Carolina, New Orleans.
Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Carolina, New Orleans. Carolina.
Yep. And then the West.
How the West was won. Who's in the West?
Seattle, Los Angeles, Arizona, and San Francisco.
Arizona's going to win that division.
Yeah. Okay. Now, who's your pick for the AFC Championship?
AFC Championship is going to be New England and Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Well, I mean that's tough because of seeding. So theoretically, I mean you can't. You can't really pick who's going to match up because of seeding and all that other shit. So who's the AFC champion?
Yeah.
I'm going to pick I have to go with New England.
Okay. So we both have New England winning the AFC. Who do you have winning the NFC?
I'm going to have Green Bay winning the NFC.
Ooh. I am going to have...
You said, ooh. Ooh.
I'm going to pick Carolina.
Ooh. The Super Bowl that should have been last year.
Yep.
But the Patriots couldn't do anything against Denver's defense because everybody was injured.
And then Pats and Pats.
What do you mean Pats
Champs.
and Pats? Yes.
All right. So we have our picks. These will probably get lost in the shuffle sometime.
No. I've cleaned up this whole...
yeah, you have. You've done a decent job.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Do you want to do over-under wins for the season?
No, I'm not going to do that this week. But here's what's going to happen, folks. This coming Wednesday, entries have to be in. You need to email me. Email me at andyvhb@aol.com. Okay? Give me your name and your YouTube name so I know exactly what the hell is going on. And I will email you directions on Wednesday. We will be having the live NFL draft, fantasy football draft. Mclovin will be in the house. Winnie the doggy will be in the house, and that's the drill. So Wednesday there will be the live draft. Everybody email me after this show. Entries need to be in by Monday morning. By Monday morning I'll have an idea. I will email everyone back with the correct time. It's probably going to be a Yahoo draft. And we'll go from there. Yahoo.
All right.
Anything else?
Looking forward to getting the league together. Yeah, it should be fun.
League will be fun. Yep.
And get the picks going and
the sexy picks.
We'll see. Hopefully, we get some more viewers. So we'll see. We'll go from there.
Yep. So, guys, thanks for watching. This has been week 2 of the preseason of Mclovin's Fantasy Football Show. And we'll see you next Wednesday, hopefully with the live streaming draft
and picks because the season starts a week from tomorrow.
Oh yeah. So picks, there'll be. So no, we'll have the draft and then we'll have the regular show.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay.
All right.
See you.
See ya.
Good luck.